We've been trying, we have followed, we've combed, we've tried, we've done a lot of things. A major of our challenges at a point in time was the duty bearers. As I speak to you now, we have receipts from the Yabongra indicating that he has given loggers receipts. That means that once he has given them receipts, he has allowed them to log. I have receipts from district assemblies, West Gonja, North Gonja, Solatuna Kalba district. There's only Boli I don't have, and Central Gonja. Issuing receipts allowing loggers to log. I also have receipts and permits from Forestry Commission, allowing people who are not supposed to log at all in the Savannah region. The permit is for Brongahafo and some other places. One of the permits is for Yendi, Upper East, and some other Tumu, but they are logging in this area. I have also found conveyance. I've seen forestry giving conveyance, and I also have a document from the law court in Tamale allowing people. So sometimes it's mind-boggling. For me, once the minister has put a ban on this thing, we should put fire on this thing and burn it. Okay. If you allow them to take this single thing out, that ban will never work. As they are taking this thing out, they were in Accra trying to lobby for them to allow them to carry these things out. They should take them on. This wood, they should make furniture with it and give it to schools for free. Or they should let them process everything into wood and we make furniture and distribute it to all the schools. You go to the school of this community, they don't have furniture.
Yes, with these Chinese loggers and wood processors, as we're talking about right now, in fact, when the so-called factory or structure was put up, it was at the blind side of everybody. That activity was going on as for close to 6 months. That we also got to know that such a facility was sited in the bush behind the village. And as for knowing of it, actually, officially, we were not informed. It was just snippets of information we also got within the town. So we have to go there to ascertain the facts by ourselves. And when we actually went there, it was very clear. They had advanced everything and they were already processing. We didn't know until we asked that the management of that company, whatever company it is, as I said, I don't even know the name of the company, to see us. So when we met, we were told that some chiefs within the Gunja traditional, or particularly the Damango traditional area, who gave them the land. So, and then because of the chieftaincy issues we have, we didn't want to know which chief was behind it. In actual fact, the factory was put on the blind side of everybody.
Including and the assemblyman?
The assemblyman, as for that one, I can't hold for brief for him. He was aware.
But he's accountable to the people.
Exactly, and that is where we have a problem. We invited him here, as I said earlier, with the DISEC officers, and then it is very clear. You see, this cannot be done by only the district assembly. You need the education of the locals who are into those rosewood, how to encourage them to stop. Then also, at our barriers and at our ports, if they are able to smuggle them out and they are not able to ferry them to their final destination, then it becomes practically difficult for them to be in business.
Initially, it was not like I myself didn't know that this was what was going to happen. He came and introduced himself as a business partner, that he was coming into the district. And for me as an assemblyman, I was also with the mind that they had visited the assembly, which is the head of the administration in the district.
When we also came and saw the type of beating, we are really shocked. So we'll go and find out from the DC. After the DC, we'll go to the chiefs and see who is behind this type of thing happening here. Actually, I'm not comfortable at all, because I know future our children will come and ask us what type of we will never see these trees about 40, 50 years ago. We'll never see these type of trees. Actually, anyone who is behind this thing, they will never forgive the person.
But somewhere last year, around June, somebody came to me, I think Mr. Ben, he called him Mr. Ben, that their company is coming to establish a wood processing plant here at Ipala. So I took him through the requirements of EPA, and eventually he picked a form from us, and then to go and complete and return the forms with the attachments. That was the end. I'd never heard about him until today that we came around, because he told us that they are now coming in to establish a wood process sawmill here, and he didn't even mention Chinese. He said they were going to establish the plant here at Ipala, and that's why I gave him the form, so that he complete and print, and then we take him through the necessary things that they required to do. He picked the form, and that has been the end.
On the 12th of April 2017, the Gunja Traditional Council and its members met at Yape to give a complete ban on rosewood logging and commercial charcoal burning, which the current regional minister for Northern Region, Honorable Salif Said, was present, and that day it was a jubilation on his part. Having said that, when we came from the meeting, or the ordinary meeting of the council members, the entire DISEC, including the DC of West Gunja and cutting across to all districts in the Gunja traditional area, took this matter up. For what we have seen today, that somebody is setting up a factory, or there is a factory or a mini factory in Yipala, West Gunja districts, I will think that it is an illegal establishment, and the Yabonra, the overlord of the Gunja kingdom, is not aware of this establishment.
Rosewood problem, especially in the Savannah region, is actually a very big one, a serious one, of course. Unfortunately, it does happen that most of the communities, our traditional leaders, are not helping us so much. You know, Central Gunja is quite a very big place, and to the extent that, you know, all the areas, if you mention like Digma, you have Tolwe, Adape, and the rest, that's where it was very serious when I came in. I've managed to, in collaboration with the chiefs and the forestry, we've been able to reduce that until the recent banning of the cutting of the rosewood. And for me, honestly, it has caused so much damage, especially the roads. Most of the roads, the bridges, culverts are destroyed as a result of these big trucks that convey the Rosewood. A lot of them, when you approach them, they show you documents happen to be permits from Accra, allowing them to go and to come and salvage. But the problem is that, why do you salvage if you don't cut them down? So you go back to the communities, you realize that all they have engaged the young guys in the communities to cut fresh rosewood. Now even the rosewood, is almost gone. They've gone into other category of types of trees.
I should change my nationality. If it is a national asset and the nation cannot protect it, and they want this young man, his boss, and a few, I'm not sure the park staff are up to 1,000. It's a disaster. It's a national asset. The nation says Moli National Park. For me, as a civil society, small person, act us together. We think that government should be the one to be doing this protection, not us. If it's a total and complete breakdown in national law enforcement, trust me, if they take these people to the police will let them go. Especially the Mango police. You can quote me. I arrested people at the Chinese factory with you. You were there. We took them there. They let them go. They booted my car. Chinese people. So for me, if they take this, I'm even worried that if they take them to the police, there is a systemic breakdown in law enforcement. And we need to look at it. And the law enforcement is about government. Communities must be empowered. Systems must work. This park must be enforced. They are not just, look at this one. I'm sure it's because these guys didn't have a better rifle. They would have just put it at them and fire. Bah, 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 and these guys will run away. Is this a gun to go and use and protect a park? This park must be well protected. They must have things that anybody who sees them, then they are afraid. Bele is under threat. Bele is under threat. Kalakpa is under threat. Dija is under threat. These are Rosewood parks. Kalakpa is finished.
Yes, spoken.
Heartening thing, this disappointing that in one community a bigger session is asking that this thing should be stopped. In that same community, a smaller session is doing this. These are fresh cuts. These are not up to a month old.
No.
And like the community members are saying, a lot is in the bush. This is in Funsi town. Look at buildings across. A lot is in the bush.
Look at Zambia.
They are where the ban is on, but they know that the ban will be lifted one day and they will sell.
They even said this month that they will lift the ban. That's the buyers and the cutters are saying.
This month
Yeah,
the
that
ban
this
will...
month that they will lift the ban.
So
this is what we heard.
if it's a lot that we need to do, it's a lot. I think that government needs to put in a task force. Government needs to go into the communities. Government needs to empower communities. Government needs to go into the bushes. Forestry Commission people need to do more than they are doing. This is fresh cuts. Fresh. These ones are fresh. That's even after the ban. And it's like this, as this is here, you can tell that a lot is happening, in the communities, in the bushes. Look at it. Nobody will tell you that this is fresh cuts. And I'm sure these were the ones that were being loaded a few weeks ago when the minister was talking about, 20 trucks from this area. Because this is the same area. Why East?
Okay. Since the government has seen that they should stop cutting these woods,
We went to assemble, and they give us to say that every assemblyman to go and monitor your electoral area. We shouldn't allow them to cut the trees. When I came, I gathered my people. I gathered my community people, tell them that they shouldn't do that work. And even because of this issue, I set a committee to help the union committee to monitoring these issues. When sometimes ago, they went and arrest about since about 3 on the bush, bring them. So I came and called all the 3 sections in my electoral area. Tell them this is what I saw, and I don't want to saw that one again. And I hand over the machines to police. Before I left back to, I'm saying Wa. I left back to Wa. On the way, I hear that the people was still be in the bush, catching the bush. So I was come back, called by commander. Commander, this is what we are coming and told the people. And I hear they are still doing the work. Our former commander, he also did well. But the authority from the top, national, he's our problem. Because why I'm saying that, they will come, you will arrest the car. Before you realize, they will bring a document from national to come and take the car. Those documents, who came now? The police commander can say anything, DC can say anything, even the regional minister. So for me, I won't blame a police or the minister or DC, regional minister or DC. I'm blaming the top national. They're causing the problem.
This is what we are talking about, and the minister and the country and the leadership and the people involved are not believing us. This is fresh rosewood. This is fresh rosewood. This is fresh rosewood logs that have been cut. These are all fresh rosewood logs. And this is what they do. They bring this fresh rosewood. Look at the dry rosewood that the minister has asked that they should collect under the supervision of the district assembly, the police people, and what have you. This is the dry rosewood. This is a wood miser. They work in the night. You can see that they have done some work here a day or so or 2. They'll bring the fresh rosewood, slap them, and load the container with it, and they pretend that they are carrying the dry rosewood. This is a community under Busunu traditional area. This is just before Loto or something, or this even Tachale or so.
Tachale.
And this is why we are crying. See, this is fresh rosewood. Fresh. They are supposed to carry the dry ones. They brought the fresh ones, they'll slap it, and they'll bring a container and load this and claim that this is dry rosewood. What can we do? What should we do? Are our eyes closed? Our ears stuck? You talk about this and they are telling you that authorities saying they are bothered about COVID-19. What has COVID-19 got to do with what is happening now? If we think we can survive COVID-19 and we don't have trees, we don't have the environment, what next? This is exactly what we've been crying about. And when we said this in UJC, this is what they did. In that container that we were opening, this is fresh rose wood, dry rose wood, wood miser. Work in the night, collect the fresh rose wood, and they are gone.